So I'm going to read through my friend's notes who's been abroad, and he's practicing a lot of things, and he's done a lot of ceremonies, so I take his notes here. Opening the summoning ceremony, opening the temple, lighting all the candles and elemental incense. Have your lotus wand and holding it by the lowest band of black, and move to the northeast corner of the temple. Face the altar and proclaim Hekas, Hekas, este bebeloi. Return to the altar and stand on its west side during the east. Take the magical sword and perform the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. Having returned to the altar, use the lotus wand pointing the black end forward to perform the banishing ritual of the hexagram. Return to the altar once more, take up the chalice full of water and proceed clockwise around your temple one time, sprinkling the water in each of the four quarters while saying, so therefore first the priest or priestess who governeth the works of fire must sprinkle with the lustral waters of the loud resounding sea. Return to the chalice to the altar and take up the censer. Proceed clockwise around the temple once more, censing the four quarters while saying, and when after all the phantoms have vanished, thou shalt see that thy holy and formless fire, that fire which darts and flashes through the hidden depths of the universe, hear thou the voice of fire. Return the censer to the altar and grasp the lotus wand by the uppermost band of white. Move to the east, then proceed clockwise around your temple space 3 times, making the sign of the Emperor each time you pass east. Return again to the altar, raise your arms high, and perform the adoration of to the Lord of the universe. Holy art thou, Lord of the universe. Make the sign of the Emperor. Holy art thou, whom nature hath not formed. Make the sign of the Emperor. Holy art thou, the vast and the mighty one. Make the sign of the Emperor. Lord of the light and of the darkness. The sign of silence. Now we go to invocations. Now grasp the lotus wand by the band that represents the element you wish to invoke, whether it's fire, water, air, or earth, meaning Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, or Taurus. Perform the great invoking ritual of the pentagram for the proper element. Standing at the altar once again, facing east, grasp the lotus wand by the upper white band. Perform the sign of the rending of the veil, and that is when you put your hands together and open a curtain. So you have not your palms of your hand, but the upper parts of your hands together, and with the palms of your hand you push the curtains away. It's a sign like that. Then raise your hands to heaven and recite the first and second angelical callings, invoking the table of union. Remain at the altar facing eastward. Raise your hands high and recite an invocation to the Coptic god who rules the pyramid upon the altar. Oh, those truncated pyramids. It should ask him or her to be present during your work and to bring to you the angel or angels you wish to summon. The following is an example. And here's an example of the invocation. I invoke thee and the name God, great God or goddess, who ruleth in the realm of element or sub-elements, and be thou present with me, and be thou the guardian of this mystic sphere. Keep far removed the evil and unbalance, and look with favor upon this work. In the 3 great and secret names of God that ruleth the directional quadrangle, the 3 supreme divine names of the watchtower that you are calling upon. Open the gates of the direction and bring to me the holy name angel or angels and their names, so that they will appear before me visible and speak to me with an audible voice. Keep this sphere pure and holy, so the angels of God will be moved to appear and reveal unto me the mysteries of their creation. Now put aside the lotus wand and take up the weapon of the element you are invoking. Move clockwise around the temple until you are facing the appropriate watchtower that are usually on the walls of the east, south, west, and so on. Make sign of the rending of the veil, then recite the call assigned to the watchtower, whether it's number 3, 4, 5, or 6, and so on. Now recite an invocation of the watchtower king, such as the following. In the 3 secret and holy names of God, born upon the banners of the direction, the 3 supreme divine names of each watchtower, and by the sacred letters of the mystical table of union, the tablet letters, I invoke the great king of the directional quadrangle and name. Vibrate the name of this king while tracing a spiral over the letter of his name before you. Thou art who art the overseer and protector of the directional quarter of the universe, add the power and virtues of element to this work and send the angels or angels, name or names, what they may reveal unto me the mysteries of their creation. Then if you are working with one of the 3 mixed sub-elements, recite the call associated with its sub-quadrant that I talked about in the last video. You do not need to do this if you are working with fire of fire, water of water, air of air, or earth of earth. They were the only taken outs of there. Continue with the invocation of the angel or angels you are summoning by the name of their archangel or archangels and the 2 divine names of the Calvary cross. And there's the one name for calling and the other is for commanding. Same as I did in the previous videos. Then we have the invocation of the archangel. O archangel name, who rulest and governest in the infinite realm of the element or sub-element, who charges your angels to manifest the virtues of your power upon the physical world, hear my call in the exalted name, calling name, and send forth the holy angel and the angel's name to this sacred place in the mighty name, and now you use the commanding name. Empower him and charge him to appear visibly before me, to speak audibly to me, and to reveal into me whatever I desire. Then we have the invocation of the servant angel. I invoke, summon, and call you forth, thou great angel, and the name, by the virtue and power of your archangel, the name, and by the most holy name, the calling name, written upon the foundations of the world. In and by these names, and by the highest name of God borne upon the banners of the direction, the 3 supreme divine names of the watchtower, and by the great elemental king and name, and by the sacred letters of the mystical table of union, tablet letters. I call you from thy home and habitation in the astral realm of element or sub-element, and I command you in the irresistible divine name, commanding name, to appear before me, to speak with me, answer my question, and accomplish my desires. By all of these names rehearsed, and by the power thereby vested in me and within the elemental weapon, here hold the weapon aloft and within the sacred scepter of the lotus, so mote it be. That sounds so like Wicca to me, so mote it be. And then you repeat the 2 invocations above, one for the archangel and one for the servant angel, and for each angel you wish to call from the sub-quadrant. Then you repeat the same 2 invocations in each of the remaining 3 quarters of the temple space, moving clockwise to each new quarter, and ending again at the watchtower you have opened. Finally return to the altar, standing so you are facing the watchtower with the altar between you and it. Replace the elemental weapon on the altar and take up the lotus wand. Hold it by the white band of spirit and fix your attention upon the truncated pyramid before you. Recite the final prayer to the Coptic deity. O name of the god or goddess or lady or lord and of the pyramid, element fits element, by whose names and images I have invoked the angels of the mighty watchtowers of the universe. Make unto me a strong seeding, open my eyes and my ears to the visions and the voices of the holy ones. Before I was blind, but now I see. I once was deaf, but now I hear. Move therefore, move and appear, and open unto me the mysteries of creation. Strengthen and inspire me that I may enter in and become a partaker of the secrets of the light divine. And keep your focus upon the truncated pyramid before you. Welcome the summoned angel or angels and address them as you will. Receive their answers and any visions, and when you are done, the angels will depart on their own. Closing the temple. When you are done with your working, say prayers of thanksgiving to the entities you have invoked in the working. Stand before the watchtower to thank the angels summoned therefrom, and then perform the sign of the closing of the veil. And that is just like you close curtains. Return to the altar, face east to thank the Coptic deity and make the sign of the closing of the veil once more. Lay aside the lotus wand, take up the chalice, then the censer, and purify the temple with water exactly and as was done in the opening. Having finished the purification, take up the lotus wand by the white band and move to the east. Proceed counterclockwise around the temple 3 times, making the sign of the emperor each time you pass the east. Return to the altar and perform again the adoration of the Lord of the universe. Proclaim, I now release any and all spirits who have been entrapped by this ceremony and are not needed in its operation. Go with the blessings of Yeshua and Yehovah. Return to your home and habitations. May there be peace between me and thee, and may you always be ready to come when you are called. And make the sign of the closing of the veil. If you feel it necessary, you may end by taking up the sword and performing the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, but it's not usually necessary. And finally proclaim, I now declare this temple duly closed, and so mote it be. I would say it is done or something like that. So, and as I've talked about before, there are plenty of different lodges calling themselves Golden Dawn, and not all are legit. And I believe Israel Ragadi is the main who has most of the, I don't have his book, but has the most accurate, that if you buy one book, you should buy that one. And I think that is what the most of them use. And as it goes for, as I'm a deep purist, but I can jump in and do rituals like that, but I skip the Coptic gods and the truncated pyramids. I hate those. They are just, I work with the angels. Why should I call on something less to call on them? That is against my beliefs. So, but otherwise than that, the Coptic deities are easier to call, and you might feel the presence easier. So that's that, and you learn to really work what you are seeing in the symbolism and everything once you make them. And I will try to get together photos and something I can post on WordPress. Trying to get, since I'm not an artist and I'm not going to draw some Coptic gods, since they would look like ants or elephants or something else, so I can't do that thing myself. But I will put a link if I manage to get it written on WordPress. So I love you all, and always check out there. they don't have playlists like they have on YouTube and so on. But if you just, I put it in the description up above what I'm talking about, that specific date. So if it's a vocation, it says a vocation. If it's correspondences and colors, it says that. So cool. And don't be afraid to try. And you don't have to call anybody. You can march around without calling anybody, but going through the motions, that's a very great way of learning. And once you're comfortable with a great table, then you can look at the reform table of Earth and whether they have switched, whatever they have switched in whatever tradition. If you know the basics, you adapt to it quickly. So study the great table of Earth and the reform table of Earth and the pictures that I got today. So I love you all and bye for now. Have a magical, magical day. And Prince was loud here, so he sang you all his magical wishes. Bye for now.